Inside the final furlong, we're looking at a good one here. It is Kopek the board, extending his unbeaten run to 3 wins in the Tattersalls Island Novice Hurdle.
Here's the last for John Body, jumps it well. Quilixios in second, JPR one back in third. It's John Body's got his favourite hill to climb. He's out in front by 5 lengths to Quilixios, and John Body's going to win this race again.
It's brighter days ahead, and Sam Ewing a long way clear. Over the final flight goes brighter days ahead. This couldn't be any more impressive. It is brighter days ahead, upholding the Morgiana form in the Grade 1 Neville Hotel's hurdle. 1-horse finish, it's the mare! Final Demand takes it up over the last, has widened the advantage over Wingman, who can't give any more than Mozzie's sister, being followed then by Jasmine DeVoe. But it is Final Demand, up appreciably in grade, is going to make it 2 out of 2 for Paul Townend and Willie Mullins.
Bioluminescence has a 3-4 length lead at the last. Bioluminescence lands 3-4 in front of in second place Pagan. She could be anything, no more to offer in third, but racing inside the final 150. It's Bioluminescence, and Derek O'Connor is on in front, is going to win this for JP McManus.
And it's Ballyburn in the lead at the last from Croke Park. There's nothing between them, in fact, 200 yards to go. Ballyburn and Croke Park having a great tussle with 150 yards to go, and digging down deep is Ballyburn and Paul Townend.
Constitution Hill has the lead, and he comes down towards the final flight. Constitution Hill over in front by a length and a half to 2. Lottymouth in second, a mistake in third by Burnett Road. Constitution Hill, he's back.
Hello and welcome to this Tattersalls Cheltenham Festival preview show, and we are going to be doing the traditional thing of rattling through all the top class racing from the Cheltenham Festival over the 4-day period. We'll also be throwing in some other little snippets of information along the way as well. Hopefully plenty of you have joined us on YouTube. Welcome along. We also have a live audience here. Hopefully they'll be getting stuck in a little bit later. On this panel though, I am joined by an esteemed group of people. I am joined by none other than Robbie Power, Gold Cup winning jockey, Gordon Elliott with a whole host of chances at this year's Cheltenham Festival, Katie Walsh alongside Jamie Codd as well. Guys, I'll start with you, Robbie. It's great to have you alongside for a second year on the bounce. We did this last year as well. I think you tipped a few winners at big prices too, so I'm expecting the same again. How's your prep gone?
Very well. Everything's gone good. So I'm glad it's a bit warmer in here this year. It's nice and warm now. So
we were freezing last year, but they've put the heating on this time around, which is a relief for Gordon, of course. Thanks so much for joining us, Gordon. Anticipation high. I'm sure you're probably sick to death of the media at this point, but we really appreciate you joining us. How is the mood in the yard currently?
Yeah, everything's good at the moment. Obviously 2 weeks out now, a few more bits of work to do, but yeah, happy with everything.
Do you get frustrated with all of us media sorts at this time of year, or is it just part and parcel of the job?
Listen, it's part and parcel of the job. Most of the year fine, and some are a pain in the ass.
I'll take that. Katie Walsh, how is your Cheltenham Festival prep going? Of course, you'll have seen up close and personal plenty of the horses we're going to be discussing over the next 45 minutes. Then we have an interval and another 45 minutes. But how's it going from your point of view?
Yeah, good, sure. Really looking forward to it. You know, it flies around really after Christmas, and it's only 2 weeks away. So yeah, really looking forward to it.
I know, I feel like February just rattled through, and all of a sudden, like you say, we're just a couple of weeks away. Jamie, lots of horses that you will have seen sell here at the Tattersalls Cheltenham, at the Cheltenham sales ring, but of course here as well in Ireland. You follow those with real interest, and you've got plenty to cheer about this year.
Yeah, look, we're very fortunate that we get to sell a good few of these horses, both here in this ring and in Cheltenham, and we are following with some great graduates this year, so it's going to be really looking forward to it.
Yeah, those graduates. Should we kick straight on? We might as well kick on with the Supreme, guys. We're not going to do what most Cheltenham Festival preview shows do, which was where they sort of drone on about the Supreme and the Arkle and then have no time for the Gold Cup, okay? So we will kick on with the Supreme now. And of course, we have Kopek de Boards up at the top of the market. This was a really sort of a market that I felt like none of the novices really put their head above the parapet for a long time until the Dublin Racing Festival, and then Robbie Kopek the Boards comes along and does what he did there at the start of February, and now he's a very short price. Can he be beaten in this?
He's definitely the class act, and I agree with you. Before the Dublin Racing Festival, I thought Gordon's horse Romeo Coolio was the standout performer over 2 mile. But then Kopek de Borg, 130,000 Derby Sale graduate, Harold Kirk bought off Cigarra Farm. He won the George Morna bumper last year in Fairyhouse impressively. His maiden hurdle at Christmas in Leopardstown left a lot of questions to be answered, and he answered them at the Dublin Racing Festival in no uncertain terms. He looks very, very good. Small question mark about his temperament. Will the occasion get to him? He got a bit worked up before the race in Leopardstown at the Dublin Racing Festival, and that'd be my only question mark over him. I think ability-wise, he's the best of the lot.
Gordon, do you have something to say to that in regards to Romeo Coolio's chance in this? We don't have to worry about his temperament, at least we know that.
Yeah, my lad's been over to Cheltenham. I think his form was rock solid this year. I think we learned a lot from the race here in Fairyhouse, what way to ride him. He's a tough horse, he stays going very well. I think the favourite is a deserving favourite. I think would I back him at the price he is? No, I wouldn't. But I think he's a deserving favourite. What he's done, you'd have to be impressed with. A bit like Robert said, I would be worried about him. If you're looking for a kink, I suppose he did get a bit revved up the first day, and his jumping wasn't great. But the second day, he was foot perfect, and he was awesome. You'd love to have him. Would I back him at even money or shorter? No, I wouldn't. I think my horse has a great chance he'll be 5 or 6 to 1 on the day.
Tell me this, have you had horses that you've taken to the festival that have thrown away their chances through sort of boiling over in the prelims and also the hype in the mornings beforehand? It's very different, right?
Yeah, it's definitely different. This horse, I think he's only had 3 runs in his career, but look, I'd love to have him. He looks very good. But it is a worry when you travel them over, how to travel and whatnot, but he looks good.
Yeah, absolutely. You will have seen him as he pulled up, Katie, at the Dublin Racing Festival. What was your immediate aftermath thoughts on that race, Kopek the Board?
Well, I think everyone thought it was a bit of a wow factor, but I think there is definite concerns over his temperament for sure. I mean, Gordon's horse has been there before, and he's a massive price at 5 or 6 to 1 compared to Willie's horse. I mean, he doesn't have as much experience under his belt as Gordon's horse either. And as in, from a travelling point of view, I mean, if he can get hot in Leopardstown, I mean, Cheltenham's a whole different ballgame. And I think he's too short at the price that he is. And the only thing that's going to get him beat is himself, I think. And I think Gordon's horse is rock solid.
Yeah. I would tend to agree with that. Was it Classical Dream who completely sort of looked to blow up beforehand and then won anyway at the festival? So, I mean, they can go over the top, but we will watch him with interest. Jamie, let us roll on to the Arkle, shall we? Because again, we have a short price favourite in here off the back of the Dublin Racing Festival in the form of Marlsborough, who, of course, I don't know, everyone was so taken with what he did at Leopardstown. And yeah, I thought... Well, you talked me through what you thought of his jumping. People seem to really focus in on that it was much better when we last saw him. But I think there's still work to be done there.
Yeah, look, at Leopardstown is a good test of a horse. When you turn into back in Leopardstown, you face those, I think it's 6 fences down the back. And, it's a daunting task for any young horse. He did knuckle at the back of 1 or 2. I'd like to think that when you get away with that around Leopardstown, you should be safe enough around Cheltenham. The only thing that catches a horse out in Cheltenham is just speed. It's not the height of the fence. They're actually quite soft. You can get away with a lot. It's just if you over jump and maybe knuckle out on your head. So, look I'd say he's. They've worked a lot on his schooling, I'd imagine, and he's a very, very classy horse. We saw that last year, and he's going to take a lot of beating now that Nicky's horse has gone out of this as well. So look, he's definitely the one to beat. It's easy to say that, but Gordon will talk more about Firefox. A lovely, lovely, straightforward horse. He's loads of experience. I don't know whether he goes for the Arkle, but if he does, I can't see this horse being out of the first 3. He's just got a great temperament. He jumps well. You know, I think he was a top price here at the Derby sale a few years ago. Noel bought him, Nolan Valerie. So, like, him for me at 12 to 1 with the experience he has in this race, I wouldn't mind a bit of him.
Well, Gordon, you can pick that up. Does he run there?
I'd be surprised if I run him, to be honest. I think Marlborough's one of the naps of the week. You know, I can't see what can beat him. Firefox, he'll be left in it till the last stage, but he's in the handicaps as well. I'd be shocked if I don't go for the 2.5 mile handicap with him, to be honest.
Okay, yeah. And do you also have Touch Me Not in there?
He'll run. He was second to Marlborough in the Irish Arkle.
Was that a better run than you were expecting on the day?
He ran well in Sandown. You know, the ground was very soft. He was a good second. He'd have been a better second to the Skelton horse that day. If the ground come up on the better side, I could see him running into a place. But I think the favourite looks rock solid. And
the price suggests that. Katie, anything else to add in the Arkle?
I don't think so. I think Marlborough looks the one. I mean, there was bits maybe about his jump on the last day, but I don't know. He's a big beast, isn't he? And he was really, really impressive.
I mean, we've managed to have a conversation about the Arkle and not mention the second favourite, Lou the Sud, which hasn't done a huge amount wrong, Robbie, and the form has been backed up since, of course, with Roubaud winning. Are we ignoring him at a much bigger price?
I wouldn't ignore him. He's unbeaten over fences. He's won his last 4. He's won over course and distance, which is a big advantage going to Cheltenham. But I just think Masborough is a class act. And he'd have the right man in his back to nurse him around. Yes, his jumping is a little bit of a question, but he made a few mistakes in Leopardstown, but never looked like falling. And I think he'll be travelling strongly, and he's got the right man in his back to nurse him around.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, let us move on to the champion hurdle then. And Gordon, you know I'm coming to you straight away here. Don't grimace at me. Don't grimace at me. You knew this was coming. You have brighter days ahead in here. We don't know if she's going to run here or at in the mare's hurdle. We all want to see her here. Am I right in saying that you want to see her in this race as well?
I'd love to see her running in it. Obviously, if I had the choice, I'd probably run her in it. But Michael pays the bills and he'll make the final decision.
Of course. Yeah.
He said he'd make a decision a week out, and we're getting close to it now. We won't sit around and wait to the last minute. I love a go Constitution Hill.
How do you see that playing out in your mind? Like, how does that look to you, her taking on Constitution Hill?
Listen, it's what horse racing needs. It's what it's all about. You know, I've the utmost respect for Constitution Hill, but I'd love a go at him. And
would it be a case of her setting her stall out like we saw her do at Leopardstown and saying, "Catch me if you can" to him?
Listen, we'll keep the tactics till late, but if we run on the champion, or listen, she'll be running on the Tuesday, whether it's the mares or the champion, we'll make a decision on Monday or Tuesday. Listen, I'd imagine if we ran, we'd keep it very simple. We'd have King and Kingsfield there to make the run, and one thing you wouldn't want to do is turn into a sprint. She actually wouldn't do a stroke in front. If you watch her riding out at home, she'd go around with her ears pricked, looking all over the place. Where you look the difference from down Ryle to Punchestown to when we actually got a lead in Leopardstown, she was awesome. I think Jack Kennedy describes her very well. She's actually not very quick, he says, but when she gets into top gear, he says she's a relentless galloper. She just gallops horses into the ground.
Yeah, it's fascinating. You're obviously pleased with the form she's in at home. That's she's in good nick.
She's flying.
She's flying. Oh, God, I want to see her in the champion hurdle. Like you say, it's only just because if you're a National Hunt Racing fan, it's what you want to see. Hopefully. Let us talk about Constitution Hill, though. I will start with you, Robbie. Had the gallop today. Do you take much notice of that? Little spin round Kempton on the all-weather for him?
I forgot until 5 minutes ago that he galloped today. I took no notice of it. He obviously went better than he did last year, anyway.
Yeah, a few legs better.
But look, he is the class act. He's a very, very good horse. They've had trouble with him in Constitution Hill. He was breathtaking 2 years ago in the champion hurdle. But he needs to come back to something like that. I think the bare bones of the form in Kempton is not good enough to beat Brighter Days Ahead. The horse that was going to finish third in the race, Burdett Road, is rated 144. He had to be shaken up to beat Burdett Road and a below power Lossy Mouth. Yeah. So he has to improve in that. The bare bones of that form is not enough to win this champion hurdle. And I think Gordon's mare getting the £7 has a big chance. If he can take that Leopardstown form at Christmas, literally, she's going to be very hard to beat, given the £7 to her.
Oh, God. Yeah. Oh, do we have any concerns about what he's been doing at that last hurdle, Jamie, at Cheltenham, Constitution Hill? He's sort of guessy at it, and he's been guessy at it a few times. Any worries there?
Don't worry, as long as they jump it and they're still standing at the far side, that's the most important thing. Look, he's a seriously fast jumper. He's quick through the air. So look, I think at that division, at that 2 mile speed, let it be fences or hurdles, that's what you want. You want a horse that's going to live on the edge for you. They have to have that attitude that they're going to take a chance, and Constitution Hill definitely has that. But look, he's been an extraordinary horse. I don't know, was Lossie out below par? I thought she still had to step up to beat Constitution Hill on what he has done in the past. You know, I think he's still the one to beat, in my opinion. The mare has to go by him, but we don't know, and that's the beauty of it. And I hope she turns up, because we know Constitution Hill has beaten Lossie out. We don't know, will he beat Brighter Days Ahead? And I cannot wait to see it. I really hope she turns up, and you know, it'll be a fantastic day if she does.
Yeah, we will. We're hoping for that. Katie, how can we have a conversation about the Champion Hurdle and still haven't mentioned State Man? Is he the forgotten horse in here because of obviously the below par run 2 starts back, and then the essentially a pretty, you know, not a walkover, but nearly a walkover at Leopardstown when we last saw him? Are we ignoring him at a bigger price here?
Sure, I don't know. I mean, it hasn't been brilliant all year, really, has it? Even the last day when it was a walkover. Like, I mean, I thought he looked fairly empty from the back of the second last the whole way to the line. I mean, they're saying there could be reasons for it along the way, but I mean, he's nearly forgotten himself a little bit for whatever reason. He's definitely not the horse that he was this season. Anyway, that's not to say he won't bounce back. I mean, we've seen horses of Willie's bounce back all the time, but at this moment in time, for me, I love Gordon's mare. Gee, I think she's a beast. You know, the way she can, especially going left-handed, and the way she gallops. And I thought she was unbelievable in Leopardstown the last day. I thought the gallop they went was absolutely relentless. And I think it would, I mean, that's the race we're all looking forward to. And I think if she runs there, it'll be absolutely brilliant. And I think she'll be Constitution Hill. God, pray, everyone, pray. Get down on the hands and knees and pray. Before we move on to day 2, just because we're sat in this sales ring, Gordon, it'd be remiss of me not to ask you, we've just spoken about 2 horses there, Brighter Days Ahead, who was a €310,000 top lot at Tattersalls Ireland Derby sale in 2022, and then Romeo Coolio cost £420,000 at the 2023 Tattersalls Cheltenham Festival sale, which is, of course, their marquee sale. I see you a lot at both these sales. Just a quick line on how you and your team buy these horses, what you're looking for. This doesn't just happen by mistake. You've landed on some real top notches time and time again. What's the process?
Look, we obviously, with the pointers, we trying to visit all the yards a couple of times during the year to look at all the young horses when they're young. You go to all the sales, you've seen them from stores the whole way up. So you don't always get it right. We buy plenty of bad ones as well, but you do your best to try and select the best ones. I think Tatterstalls do a wonderful job in the sales. Cheltenham sale is brilliant. If they had a few of them over here, it might be a bit better for us, but instead of having to travel the whole time. But I think it's a great sale, and I love going to it.
And you have a big enough team working around you, I know that much. But you've had success with horses from various different nurseries, I suppose, including the British Pointers as well.
Yeah, we have, to be honest, we look at every horse at the sale, and you know, Cheltenham obviously the sale over in the UK, you know, a lot of the British horses are going to it now, and I think they're bringing a better type of horse every time to the sale, and we've been lucky out of it. I mean, Touch Me Not runs in the Arkle, we've Calypso Chance in the bumper, and I think we've a few other English pointers as well. So yeah, it's great.
Brilliant. Well, look, before we are going to move on to day 2, I'm going to give my panel a little moment's rest because we have a special guest in the audience, guys. We have a special guest. I'm just going to walk around here because the first race we're going to talk about on day 2 is, of course, the Turners Novices Hurdle. And why that is so important and crucial is because the market leader in that is Final Demand. Final Demand has been bred by this man here, who I'm just going to have a quick word with. Ken Parkhill, how are you? Great to have you here.
Thank you very much. Yeah, it's great to be here. Okay.
And now look, you're a man who's bred many a good national hunt horse over the years. You've been in the game for a very long time, and now you're going back to a Cheltenham festival with a real live chance.
Yeah, that's where everybody wants to be, and it's fantastic to breed a horse that's good enough to compete, and then to be in with a sporting chance. It's what everybody wants.
Talk to me about a few of your top notches through the years who've come from your farm.
Well, oh God.
Bob Ollinger?
Bob Ollinger, he was homebred. Well, they've all been homebred. City Island, Fury Road, Fernie Hollow.
Too many to remember, clearly. But in terms of
I didn't expect this, or I would have been better prepared.
I'll be gentle on you, don't worry. In terms of Final Demand, just talk to us about what sort of horse he was right from the very beginning. Of course, he sold in this very sales ring behind us.
Yeah, he was probably, pound for pound, he was probably the best horse we ever had, for considering model, movement, pedigree. He was a Rolls Royce. Everything came together on the day. He put his best foot forward at the sale, and he went down very well with the purchasers, and a bit of luck.
That's fascinating. Was he sort of classy from day one? You know, even as a foal, could you see that there was something that was pretty perfect about him?
He was big and gangly, and it really took him till he was 3. Just in the months coming up to the Derby sale is when we knew that we had something fairly special anyway. Yeah, he just came together nicely.
Love it when a plan comes together. And then in terms of what he's done on the racetrack since, obviously no better school to be in, other than Gordon Elliott's yard, obviously. But other than that, in with Willie Mullins. And he's putting together a pretty decent profile of work now this season.
Yes, well, he went to a great man with Matty Flynn O'Connor for his point-to-point days. And Joey Logan is a good judge, and he was involved in the purchase of him as well. And he got a great start in life with that. And then he was given plenty of time in Willie's, and every time I asked about him in Willie's, I was just saying, he's a nice horse. But I didn't get the vibes that maybe I should have been getting.
He didn't wax lyrical about him?
Well, no, Patrick or anybody that I spoke to, they didn't lead me to believe that I had something
and then
maybe special. He still has to do it all, yes. It's all in Dreamland at the minute, but hopefully.
And will you head over to Dreamland, Cheltenham Festival itself?
No, I won't. No, we're busy at home foaling, and we have to get horses prepped for, inspections for the sales and getting mares for the stud. And my wife is with me here, Louise. She's going to go over and she'll represent the camp.
Brilliant. Well, look, Louise, I'll see you over there. We wish you the very best of luck. Thank you so much for talking to us. Hopefully I haven't caught you on the hop too badly. Thank you very much. We'll leave Ken in peace over there. There's nothing like doorstepping people when they're least expecting it, everyone. And I will head back to my panel to talk all things Turners. I'll leave that there. Onwards we go, guys. So you've just heard from the man himself in regards to Final Demand. Obviously, we've got a few horses in this market currently that may not run, but one that we do know will run, or well, has options, the Yellow Clay, Gordon. Where is he heading, here or the Albert Barlett? He's shorter for the longer race, but I think you have a preference for the shorter, do you?
Yeah, I'm sort of swaying towards the shorter race, to be honest.
Why?
Because I think it's the right race to go for. I think it's the race to go for with the horse. I'm not sure he's an out-and-out 3-miler. He's won over 2. He's won over 2.5. He's won over 2.5. He's probably a bit like Final Demand. as Ken was saying, maybe he wasn't getting the biggest vibes in the world before he ran, but Final Demand looks like a bit laid back horse that just running fancy at home and seems to do all his best work on the track. And this is a bit the same. He's not flashy at all. I think Final Demand beat Wingman well in Naas, and I think the Yellow Clay is a far superior horse to Wingman. Yeah, I think we've got a good chance. I think he's a very laid-back horse, so he'll really suit the hype of Cheltenham, and he has a squeak. But I was very impressed with the favourite in Leopardstown. But I said he beat a horse of mine well that I'd be disappointed if my lad didn't beat well.
Okay, got you. So you've got that sort of form line. He's obviously one of many of your sort of top notchers that missed the Dublin Racing Festival. We know that was a bit of a plan. Did they sort of have a quieter time of it at the start of the year? How did that come about?
Well, we probably start a bit earlier than Willie. You know, he comes out about a month or 6 weeks later than us. So we had an extra run. So it's hard to go to Dublin Race the Festival, Cheltenham, Punchestown, Fairyhouse Entry. You have to pick your battles where you go. So. When I walked out of Dublin Racing Festival with no winner, I was maybe thinking what was I at, but listen, it's worked for us over the last couple of years, and that's the decision we made. So you have to stand by it. But I think the favourite it looks a proper horse, and I'd say whatever he does over hurdles, I say when he jumps a fence, he could be anything.
We, meaning Team UK, Team Britain, have the new Lion for Dan Skelton as the second favourite here, Robbie. He's done very little wrong, and of course now running in the JP McManus colours. Where does he fit in, do you think, form-wise, with the likes of what Final Demand did at Leopardstown? Do you think the new Lion's Challow form is at a higher level?
It's not at a higher level. It's a very impressive performance visually. He did everything very easy on the day. He looks to me like a horse that has a change of gear over this trip. But he beat a horse rated 127. Now that horse has since come out and won in Warwick last week and given the form a little bit of a boost. I wouldn't say it's quite as strong as Final Demand's form, but I would be very respectful of him. I think he's a very good horse.
Okay. And Jamie, anything else to add in the Turners in terms of something at a bigger price? Anything that you think is worth a bit of a go behind the likes of a Final Demand or an obvious the new line?
Maybe Robbie might be able to maybe make a more informed. But the big Westerner, the mayor of Kieran Mariga's, the Mariga family, is she for this or is she for the mayors?
She'll go to the Albert Bartlett.
Albert Bartlett
on the Friday, yeah.
Yeah, a big filly. She won a point last year for Matty Flynn as well.
Yeah.
She was sold at the festival sale to Henry and the Mariga family, and she's a fine big filly, and she'll be well suited, I'd say, to that trip. But no, she's going for the Albert Bartlett. Yeah.
He's just throwing in his knowledge now. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I was just going to get on to Final Demand. But no, look at it. It's Final Demand and the Yellow Clay. I was lucky enough to win a few bumpers on the Yellow Clay, homebred of Nolan Valerie's, and he's a lovely horse, real honest. Just a tough horse, and I kind of reiterate what Gordon said. Like he should take everything well, and handle the place and handle the atmosphere. And he's a nice bet at that price for this race. And Final Demand he looks very, very good. I have the pleasure of going to see Ken and Louise and Peter every year, see their stores, and they're serious breeders. And this lad is a serious horse as well, so it's hopefully one of them will win.
Katie, what about you in the Turners Novices Hurdle? Anything other than what we've mentioned already?
No, Final Demand for me.
Oh, okay, on we go then. You can have first go at the Brown Advisory Novices Chase. Obviously, the Novice Chase programme having a bit of a shake around at Cheltenham this year means that we've got a pretty competitive Arkle and we've got a pretty competitive Brown Advisory, hopefully, with Ballyburn up at the top of the market off the back of, again, the performance at the Dublin Racing Festival. But it's deep enough in behind him. Is it as simple as Ballyburn all the way here, Katie?
Yeah, I thought he was probably back to himself the last day. I know that everyone down there seems to be really happy with him. He he jumps and he travels so well. And I know that obviously it's quite open in behind it with plenty of depth, but I think if you gave me a choice what I wanted to ride, I think I'd be riding Ballyburn for me.
I think for me, I was here this day, the most impressive, well, I thought as he sort of jumped the last, I was a bit like, oh, he's not going to be very impressive here. And then actually, the more he gallops up to the line, the more impressive he is.
He hadn't really gone from, though.
Yeah.
You know, and when Gordon's horse got up beside him, you know, he half-headed him maybe even for a stride, but you knew by Paul's body language that he hadn't really got stuck into him. And when he did get stuck into him, he just went away.
Yeah.
And the further he was going, the better he was going. I thought he was a really good, impressive winner on the day.
Gordon, you've got better days ahead in here, Croke Park, and my favourite horse in training, Stella Story. Do all three of them go here?
At the moment, we're thinking all three will go, yeah. Croke Park obviously ran Ballyburn to a couple of lengths the last day. As Katie says, you know, from 50 yards to the line, Ballyburn was very, very strong. Our lad was probably getting weaker. So I'd say Ballyburn was just doing what he has to do. I thought better days ahead. He won the Martin Pipe last year. It can be a good race for horses going forward. If the ground was on the easier side, I think he'd have a big chance. And Stellar Story, if he got us jumping together, like he's a massive engine.
What's gone wrong with his jumping? What's happened there?
I don't know. Speaking to Donegal and them, apparently he was a bit like that when he running his point to points. He was a bit brave and let fly at a few fences. But we've been doing a lot of work with home on him, and he did jump a lot better in Avon the last day, but still a little bit sketchy at 1 or 2. But if he gets it together, I think the triple suit him. Obviously, he won in Albert last year. 20 to 1, he'd be dangerous.
I mean, if he can, you know, improve his jumping, the engine he showed in the Albert Bartlett, I feel like he's a forgotten horse in here.
Yeah, no, he's a very good horse. Like he was probably a bit unlucky in having the last day. You know, he gave £3 to the winner. Danny's instructions going out were just number one, get him around and get him jumping. And I says, just if the win comes your way, it comes your way. But I thought he gave him a great ride. Yeah, look, I've got a good chance in it. But Ballyburn, Dancing City, they're good horses too.
Yeah, they really are. Robbie, anything else to add in the Brown advisory? Anything we're missing at bigger prices? You've got the likes of a Lecky Watson from Willie Mullins' yard. We'll probably have to improve on what we've seen of him, but he is on the improve. Anything else?
I think this is a great race. I think there's loads of strength and depth to it.
Yeah.
I actually like Henry's horse in this, Gorgeous Tom. He was fourth, only beaten probably a length and a half in the end in the Drinmore. Flying home another half a mile is definitely going to suit him. If he gets decent ground, he's overpriced.
Is that the key to him, though? Bit of decent
Once
ground?
decent ground in 3 miles was bringing around a huge improvement in him.
Okay, and he's going well at home at the moment?
Yeah, touch wood, everything's going well. Everyone's very happy with him, so just praying for nice ground.
What price is he? He must be...
He's 25 to 1. He was only probably a length behind Croke Park in the end in the Drinmore, and Croke Park is 12 to 1. He's 25. I think he's an each way chance, definitely.
Okay. And it's a race that has a good bit of each-way shape to it. I'm not sure the same can be said for the champion Chase. Let's move on to that. John Bon is a short price up at the top of the market, taking on Gaelic Warrior if he shows up here, which, of course, that is the plan. Marine Nationale with that form with Gaelic Warrior. Nergamin is in there. Ile Francais, we don't know where he's going to go at this point. Jamie, he could go here, or the Ryanair, of course. Is John Bon finally going to get the champion chase he deserves? He deserves a champion chase.
Yeah, absolutely. I think this lad is a stonewall certainty.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I really do. I think he will. He's going to get his day in the sun. He obviously missed her last year, but this lad deserves it. He's a hell of a horse. You know, everybody seems to want to knock him, but I think he keeps coming back. He's quirky. He has his few flaws, but he's a multiple Grade 1 winner, and I'll be down cheering him on now at the shoot. Like, he came out of here, I think he was 150 grand of a store, and like, he's just been a serious graduate of Fairy House here.
He's really flown the flag, hasn't he? And as you say, he's been so consistent. It's almost like that time he got beat by Colin Tizard's big priced horse at Cheltenham that time. It's like scarred his record. People just can't get over that. But other than that, he's so consistent. But of course, Gaelic Warrior, he did this last year. He flopped at the Dublin Racing Festival and then went to the Arkle and won. Could he do it again? I mean, not that he flopped quite as badly, Robbie, at the Dublin Racing Festival, but could he turn the tables on a Marine Nationale and the Solness in here?
I do think that Gaelic Warrior hates Leopardstown, but he won't turn the form with John Bunn or with the others. He won't beat John Bunn. He's not in the same league. I know there's question marks for John Bunn to answer around Cheltenham, but I think this year, looking how much you can trust the long range forecast, I think he's going to get nice ground, which will bring about more improvement about John Bunn. Wouldn't suit Energy Mean. He wants it soft. If it got very soft, I'd fancy Energy Mean now to beat him. Yeah. But given normal Cheltenham, good yielding ground, or good to soft as they call it over there, I would think John Bunn all day long.
Yeah, it'd be interesting. I mean, the heavens opened on Champion Chase day before. If Energy did get that soft ground.
Soft, Vanessa. There's a huge range from good to soft. Can the English not grasp differences in between? Could they not get their head around that? No.
No, we just can't.
No.
We just have to have that huge range.
There's a lot of ways from good to soft.
There is. I would agree with that. I don't have a going stick, I'm afraid. Katie, last line to you on the Champion Chase. At bigger prices, the likes of a Solness, it looks like he's going to go here, and he'll do maybe what he's done before at Leopardstown. Can he get away with that trick at Cheltenham, going out in front and saying, catch me if you can?
Well, he's going to set up a really good gallop anyway, and he's definitely going to be ridden that way. It's worked for him the last twice. He goes a really good gallop. You imagine it's going to set it up for everyone else in behind that lovely, solid lead. Is there any chance the French horse might go here?
I think there is a chance, yeah.
I think he could put it up. I mean, I'd love to see John Bunn win. Obviously, he's won around here twice before, different occasions. Obviously, not always Cheltenham, and he's been beaten around here twice. But I mean, I think he deserves it, and I'd be roaring for him to win. But I think that French horse has a great way of galloping and jumping. I mean, and he doesn't lack pace. He was lucky in the King George, maybe, definitely from the last home. But I think if Elliott Francais runs here, he could definitely put it up to him.
I mean, it'd be a thrilling watch, wouldn't he? He'd go out in front and, well, along with Solness.
Yeah, there'd be some
it'd be a great
anyway.
race.
You know what I mean? And Solness, is, he's not really your typical, I suppose, 2 mile. Well, when you picture a chaser, he's narrow, he's tallish, he's not over big, but he's quite narrow. But, I mean, he can gallop and he can jump, and, I mean, that's what he does, and he's been very impressive around Leopardstown the last twice he's done it. He's definitely going to go, but the French horse is going to go as well. So there'll be a real good test. It certainly won't turn into a sprint anyway.
No, absolutely. Jamie, let us move on to the Champion Bumper, please. Before we get stuck into this year's race, of course, this is a race that you have had some of your best days in the saddle. Is that fair to say? Best days in the saddle, winning a Cheltenham Champion Bumper?
Yeah, well, look, when you're riding for Gordon Elliott, you kind of have a chance in these races. So I was lucky enough to win 2, Envoy Allen and Fiona, and they were super days, really, really good. And but I think Gordon's horse here I love the way he's been campaigned again. Last run in Navan, that listed bumper, and he's been put away for this race in mind. And when Gordon does that, he's going to be bang there. It is an open race. I see Willys has gone favourite after winning in Punchestown the other day with the Blue Brazil horse, Game of Inches. David Pipe's horse was very good in Ascot the last day, but different track, different ground. So I'd be very hopeful that Gordon's horse, after that run in Navan, could be the one to do this.
Well, Gordon, that's Calypso Chance he's talking about. How is he?
Yeah, he's in great form, so he is. He worked Monday morning, worked very well. As Jamie obviously rode with me for years, he knows if we've a nice one, we like to pull it away from there to go to Cheltenham. Look, I was impressed with Willie's horse the other day, the Blue Brazil horse that won in Punchestown. I suppose you would have to be worried about it was a bog in Punchestown, and if the long range forecast is what they're saying, it could end up, maybe not being as soft. I thought Willie's horse that won in Navan was good as well.
That Copacabana, well, wasn't that a race where everyone fancied their horse
there was 6 or 7 horses fancying it. Look, Willie's horse won well. Dave Pipe horse you have to have a lot of respect for. But I think my own horse, British Pointer, Calypso's Chance, I think he's got a massive chance. Listen, Paddy won a bumper on him, so he'll maybe be the best judge of the whole lot of them. But
you gave him a little peek behind the curtain there, didn't you, legging him up onto that horse?
Yeah, no, listen, he's got a good strike rate for us. I'd say nearly everything he rides for us wins, to be honest. I wouldn't swap Mile. I think he's in good form. I could run Jalan today. He's placed the bumper last year. He's been there, done it. He got a little setback, so I didn't want to go jumping a hurdle at this stage of the season. I could run 3 or 4 in the race, but Calypso's Chance, I'd say, is the pick of him at the moment.
And just what about him in particular, other than what we've seen on a race course, makes him the sort of your lot more of a bumper horse than maybe some of the others?
But look, he's gone and done it on the track. Again, he's not overly fancy at home, but he everything he's been asked, he does and does well. I was impressed with him in Navan. I don't think ground will matter, whether it's soft, whether it's good, it won't matter. He's a good horse.
Robbie, you must have your ear to the ground with some of these bumper horses. Anything that we're missing out at a bigger price? Anything further down the betting that maybe hasn't shown their hand in quite as flashy a way as like the Pipe horse or the Willie horses or even Calypso Chance?
No, I don't think so. I thought all along Calypso Chance was the one for me, but then I was very, very impressed with Copacabana in Navan when he won. I thought that was very, very good performance. It looked to be a bumper. Obviously, you don't know until later on the line, but it looked to be a bumper with plenty of form to it, plenty of strength and depth to it, and it was a good performance. Obviously, it'll be interesting to see which way Patrick goes with the two of them. Visually looking at Game of Inches, I think he wants soft ground. Visually looking at him, now maybe he'll improve for better ground, but he looked like a horse to me that wanted plenty of dig in it. I think Copacabana could be the one.
Okay, and Katie, any bump? Yeah.
I'm the same as Puppy. Yeah, I was really impressed with Copacabana in Navan.
Yeah.
I thought it was really good, really impressive. I thought the horse the last day is a bit of a slogger. I thought the ground he's not going to get that in jail. Well, listen, it opened up. Was it last year? They were nearly going to call it off, weren't they? Was it last year? Yeah. So listen, who knows? But definitely, if the ground is nice, I think the horse that won in Navan was good. Gordon's horse as well. Do you know? But the bumper, it's a funny one. Like can throw up some very funny results sometimes.
And
then
huge prices, placing it and
huge.
running from the back of the field as well.
Yeah, it's a funny kind of a race. And even though, you can sit here and you can preview it as much as you want, and you think you picked the right one, but then when something else wins, you kind of say, yeah, geez, we missed him. He was very good there, So it's just one of those races. It's wide open, and whatever gets the best run round.
Absolutely. We're about to wrap up for our interval in just a second, but before we do, because we've rattled through day 1 and day 2 there, but obviously we've only done the big grade 1s. What about some handicap fancies? Anything else from day 1 or 2 that you want to throw into the mix? If you don't have a view, you don't have to say, but anything else that you want to mention? I'll start with you, Robbie. You're looking less under pressure than Jamie, who's rapidly looking at his iPad with his eyes wide open.
Not a lot. I think July Flower will have a good chance in the Mayor's Hurdle on Tuesday. She was very impressive in Leopardstown at Christmas. She was second or third in the French champion hurdle, so she's got very strong form. I think she's got a big chance in the Mayor's Hurdle. Ballyadam was second in the Coral Cup. He'll go back for another crack at that as well. He'd be interesting. And Stumptown for Gavin Cromwell in the cross-country race. I think Gavin's flying in handicaps at the moment, and a Stumptown course winner. I think he'll take a bit of whacking in the cross-country.
We'll have to beat Galvin though, won't he?
Yeah, he will. If the ground turns up, Galvin has a massive chance. He's absolutely bombing. Stumptown, he got hammered off the handicapper. He's carrying top weight. Thought Nicky's horse could be very dangerous in that race as well. He was second or third at Stumptown in Cheltenham. But Stumptown was very good. Galvin, I think he's a great chance. I'll probably run 7 or 8 in the race. Now it's turned into a handicap and made a mess of the race. I'll just throw whatever I can at it and see what happens. You never know.
Very unlikely.
I thought Will Do's got an each way chance in the National Hunt Chase. I don't think it's going to be a massive field. A lot of horses don't qualify for the race. Coral Cup, Calla Conti, if I don't run her in the Mayor's Hurdle, she could have a squeak in the Coral Cup. The Fred Winter, I think my horse in that was very badly handicapped. The handicapper didn't miss him, so yeah, I'd say we might struggle in that.
Okay, just a few names there then. And anything else you'd like to add for day 1 or 2, Katie?
I like Put Your Hands Together, the Fred Winter, for Joseph.
Okay.
Second behind a horse of Oliver McKiernan's the last day. And yeah, I think he's a nice price, could be 12 or 14 to 1.
Okay, and we know how well Joseph's jumper's going this season. And Jamie, last line to you on day 1 or 2. Any other horses to throw into the mix?
It's a filly of Gordon's as well, Woodoo. I thought wherever she goes,
she's got Coral Cup, Martin Pipe, and
her form has carried through all year. The filly she bet of Skeletons has gone on and performed well this year, and she's I'd say she's a very good filly. She's a good mare. I'd say she doesn't know how good she is, probably.
And she just keeps winning, which is, of course, what we all want. Look, guys, thank you very much so far. Days 3 and 4 coming your way very shortly. We're going to take just a 5-minute interval break so that our guests here on site can go have a drink and some refreshments, and we'll be back very shortly. So stay tuned for days 3 and 4 coming your way. Right, welcome back to part 2 of our Tattersalls Cheltenham Festival preview show. I am joined, if you haven't already noticed, by Jamie Codd, Katie Walsh, Gordon Elliott and Robbie Power, and we are moving on to day 3 right now. Hopefully we've already pointed in the direction of a few winners and a few sneaky bigger priced horses as well. We will kick straight on, guys. We'll kick straight on with the Ryanair. And in the Ryanair, hopefully we're going to see Factor File here. Of course, he's a horse that people may have thought was a Gold Cup horse at the start of the season, but having been put in his place by Galopin Des Champs one too many times, it looks as though the Ryanair is going to be the spot for him, Robbie. I adore this horse, and I really think this is the race for him at this point in his career. He just looks as though, is he a real stayer over an extended 3 miles for a Gold Cup? It's a question mark, isn't it?
It definitely isn't what he's done so far. He was very tough and very good in the John Durkin, and twice in Leopardstown he's found Galopin Des Champs too good, and much too good. So this would look the obvious race for me. Back to almost 2 mile 5. I think he'll suit him down to the ground. There's like El Fabiolo will probably go to the Champion Chase. He actually has an entry in Navan on Saturday. El Fabiolo, Energamina go Champion Chase. LA Francais might go Champion Chase. I'd go here with LA Francais. I think he'd have a big chance in this. And if LA Francais goes here, he'd be a major threat to Factor File.
Would he? You think?
I think he would. Yeah, I think this could be his ideal trip. I know there's talk about him being he's a bleeder and all this sort of stuff. I think over 2 mile, he's a very high cruising speed. He'd just be setting it up for the pace horses. Over 2.5, he could just be a relentless galloper over 2.5. I think it's the race for LA Francais.
Does Envoy Allen go here?
I think Henry could run 3 in this. Hartwood, who ran very well in the 3 mile race at Leopardstown at Christmas. Envoy Allen and Jungle Boogie, who is getting on in years, but is very little miles on the clock.
And has threatened to be a good horse.
He is a very talented horse. He was very good in Ascot before Christmas.
Yeah.
He's fragile, but he's very talented.
And is there, Envoy Allen, just to link back to him for a second, because he's a real fan favourite, 3-time festival winner. He won 16 races in his career. I mean, his record is extraordinary. But an 11-year-old now, life in the old dog?
Yeah, look, he seems in very good form. He's the horse of a lifetime for everyone. He's been such a good horse. And it's actually the same path he took 2 years ago when he won in Down Royal, disappointed in the King George, and then came back and won the Ryanair. So, he ran a cracker in the Ryanair last year as well, finishing second. His course form is second to none. So, I wouldn't rule him out. Once he gets nice ground as well, if good grounds, he's a big improvement in Envoy.
Yeah, and he's a big price, to run into a place in a market that is deep enough. Do you have anything in the Ryanair, Gordon? No.
I don't think I've a runner in it, to be honest, no.
No. Katie, what about you in terms of the Ryanair? Factor File up at the top of the market will be, a lot of people's, not banker so much, but, fancy in this. But there is a bit of depth in behind.
Yeah, there is. I think that this is his trip for sure. But I'm with Robert. I do think wherever the French horse goes, whether it be, and I do agree, wherever he goes, this trip I think obviously going to suit him better than the Champion Chase. But I mean, I think that he has to be respected whatever race he runs in.
You're a fan. You're a fan.
Factor File, this is definitely his trip. He's a lovely cruising speed and a great jumper, and I thought Mark gave him a peach of a ride the last day, and it just didn't work. But then again, there's a bit of a question mark about all that form as well for Grange Clare West to be second in that a little bit. Would anyone not agree with that day?
Well, that was,
yeah, that was a bit. I know Galopin Des Champs won and he was brilliant, but God, Grange Clare West, it was a bit of a shock, really, I think, when you went back through. On the day, it was brilliant, and the winner was brilliant. And I know I'm getting away from Factor File, but Factor File got a great ride the last day. He didn't win. I questioned the whole form of that race, but I think that trip is up his neck of the woods.
Yeah, the 2.5 miles. Go on, Jamie.
No, just going back to Grange Clare West, he's Grade 1 novice winner in Leopardstown, beat Corpus Cross. I actually think he's just taken a couple of runs this year to get up to speed. The John Durkin run, he obviously finished then at Christmas. It was a big ask then. but I just think he's I think that horse could run very, very well in a Gold Cup, actually. I know he stays. I quietly fancy him to be placed in a Gold Cup. Just going on him. But back to the Ryanair, I just have a lovely feeling for Spillane Tower. I just think after Kempton, he got a good trip. He ran fine, but like a small trainer, Jimmy Mangan, I can see this horse turning up in a Ryanair. I think the triple suit him well. Like, he was only a head behind Willie's horse, Factifile, in the John Durkin. And I think if this horse goes there, I think he's got a great chance.
I think that's the big if, though, isn't it? I'm not sure we'll soon find out if he's going to run or not, but he has an engine all right. Now, Gordon, we need to move on to the Stayers Hurdle. This is the big one. Tupu, can he win it for a second year on the bounce? How is he, for starters?
Yeah, he's in very good form. He worked Monday morning. Very happy with him. Listen, he's had a good preparation. I couldn't be happy with him. We went the exact same route as we went last year. He could bet by Lossie Mountain Ferry House here, but I actually think the form of this year's race, with us finishing second, was better than his run the year before.
Really?
Yeah, I do. I think the conditions, the ground was as quick as you wanted it here. There went absolutely no gallop. I was disappointed I could bet in the day, but I think it was probably a better run than he had the year previous, winning the race.
Yeah.
And I couldn't be happier. Yeah, looking forward to it.
And the Straight to Cheltenham plan has obviously worked for you in the past, and that was always what you committed to. What's he like at home in terms of how much work you have to give him, or is he relatively easy to train?
He's pretty easy, to be honest. He's not a big gross horse. You know, he's not very impressive to look at. He's not massive, but he got a big engine and a big heart, and he knows how to win. I think 3 miles is the key to him, and really looking forward to Thursday. I think last year we had 6 or 7 winners, 6 or 7 seconds, sorry, before he ended up winning the Stayers Hurdle for me. So I hope I don't have to wait this long again.
I'm not just saying it because you're here, but those scenes afterwards with your owners, just, you know, I don't know, it just, I suppose the relief from your point of view with all those seconds and then getting the big one like that. But for a team that have supported you so well as well, it looked from the outside looking in like it meant an awful, awful lot.
It does. Every winner in Cheltenham does. I mean, it's not easy to win anywhere. You know, no matter Cheltenham, Ferry House, Punchestown, down Ryle, you know, it's more. It's hard to win a race anywhere, and especially hard to win at a Cheltenham Festival. You need everything to go right for you, and even when it is going right for you, you need a lot of luck on your side.
Yeah, you do. In behind Tupu, we've got the likes of Home by the Lee, who of course has won his last 2, Robbie. The Wall Park in there for you as well, Gordon. Actually, do you want to give a word to him? Does he get out?
He's in very good form.
Yeah.
It's not decided what race he'd go for. He could run well. He's got top weight in the Potemps. I think it could be a big ask to win a Potemps at top weight. We did do with Sir Le Burley a couple of years ago, but I'm not sure if this is just of the class of Sir Le Burley. But the Wall Park, he was 4th in the Grade 1 in Ascot, and the penny he dropped it in the last home, and he hit the line strong. I could actually see him being placed in the Stayers, and yeah, he's a good horse too.
Okay, that's a relatively positive nod for him. And that Ascot race, muddling old form that, isn't it, Robbie? With the horses that finished ahead of him, Crambo, of course. This division in general is not always clear-cut, even though we've got a very short price favourite in Tupu. Behind him, it's quite muddling.
There's no doubt that Tupu is the standout. He's the class act in the race. I think Home by the Lead this year is in a better place. He's definitely a better horse this year than he was last year for some reason. Joseph's had his national team in great form this winter. And he will be a bigger danger. On good ground, I think Tupu will be very, very hard to beat. And I think Rob Cork would have a very strong hand in the race, because Hidden Valley Lake could go if the ground was soft. He was second, just beaten by Crambo in Ascot before Christmas. But if the ground is good, Bob Ollinger will go here, and I could definitely see him placed. I don't think he'd beat Tupu, but I'll definitely see him in the first 3.
Really?
Yeah. He's getting on in years, but he still retains plenty of ability. Travelled like the best horse in the race in Leopardstown the last day, and Home by the Lee outstayed him. I think turning in, he'll be going as well as any.
I feel like he is a big mystery in terms of what I think he'll retire and nobody will really have known what Bob Hollinger's true, proper, perfect trip was. Is that a fair assessment?
You're probably right, yeah. But he's still won at 2 Cheltenham festivals. So he's a very, very talented horse, and I think at 25-1 each way, he will be knocking on the door.
Interesting. Okay, being ignored in the market. Katie, back to Home by the Lee in the season he's had. Can you see him in any way laying a glove on a ripe, ready Tupu on perfect ground?
I think you'd want to ask Home by the Lee. Like,
He's a monkey, isn't he?
I think JJ said he's going to ride him differently this year to any other year. But like, he seems to be the most well-travelled horse. He goes everywhere. You don't know what he's going to do. Sometimes he pulls up, sometimes he wants to go forward, but he's definitely going more forward this year than any other year for whatever reason. And he won really, really well at Leopardstown the last day, but I'm with Gordon's horse all the way. I just don't think he can't outweigh consistency, and Tipu's always a model of consistency. Like, as if there were two humans, like, you wouldn't know where you'd stand with Home by the Lee, whereas the other fella's just a model of consistency.
So true. You know what you're getting if you walked into the pub with Tupu, whereas not quite the case with Home by the Lee. Last line on the stairs hurdle, Jamie, to you.
No line, just Tupu.
Okay.
He's a class horse, and I think he wins. You're just looking for something to be second.
Okay, pretty straightforward then. Should we move on to the Triumph? Talk all things Triumph Hurdle, because thank goodness we've got a race where the Brits have a bit of a strong enough handle hold on this. East India Dock is your market leader for the James Owen Yard, has done absolutely nothing wrong so far. But Lulamba, well, co-favourites currently actually. Lulamba for Nicky Henderson, who also obviously has Palladium. Both these horses galloped at Kempton today. Robbie, I will start with you. Where does the Hello Neighbour Leopardstown form slot into the likes of what East India Dock's done? Well, yeah, we'll start with East India Dock because with the course and distance form.
Yeah, the course and distance form obviously for the Triumph is massive. Lulamba was very, very impressive as well when he won. I just don't know. I don't think even anyone can know how good Hello Neighbour is. I think that form could be very strong. He gets there all the time and just seems to pull up in front. I think there could be a lot more improvement to come from him. And I think the Triumph track will suit him. It's all about stamina. I think this horse has stamina in abundance. And he could just outstay the likes of East India Dock, who I know has course form, but that wasn't a strongly run race. And I just think he could be more of a speed type to compare to a Hello Neighbour, who will get a good lead into this. And I think that Leopardstown form could be fairly strong.
He absolutely dotted up, didn't he, East India Dock at Cheltenham. But there's been so much hype, Jamie, around Lulamba and Palladium from Nicky Henderson's yard, and a bit of chat this week about who Nico de Boinville's going to choose to ride. I mean, we expect him to be on Lulamba, but clearly there's plenty of promise in Palladium as well. Where are you looking in the Triumph?
Yeah, look, it's been, I think it's a funny year for the juveniles, really. Nicky has come with these two horses. It'll be interesting to see what Nico will do, what will he ride. But James owns East Indian Dock. Like, you had to have been very, very impressive with him at Cheltenham in January on trials day. I thought it was really, really good performance, track experience. Him for me, I don't know where the Irish are at. I just thought his performance at Cheltenham in January was as good as I've seen this year from a juvenile.
Okay, and he's...
I think Palladium has no chance.
You have... Ooh,
Yeah.
Where's this outlandish comment? Your mic's up now. Can you say that again, please?
I think Palladium has no chance. Ordinary race in Huntington, and I couldn't have it at all. And I don't think Nico even has a choice to make.
Interesting. Yeah. Okay, strong view. This happened last year, FYI. Just Robbie's like flatline, and then he just comes out with an outlandish comment like that.
Sure. That's what we're here for.
Yeah, no, hey, I want more of it, definitely. Okay, Palladium with no chance. Robbie, let us move on to the Albert Bartlett then, shall we? And in this, of course, we've got a whole host of horses that in the betting currently look as though they're going to go elsewhere, including the Yellow Clay, obviously, who we've already talked about, and Final Demand, who we've already talked about. But the horse that has been getting the mentions is the mare, the Big Westerner. So, Robbie, I want to start with you and her. Just give us a little bit of background on her and why you and Jamie are quite so fond of her.
Oh, she's just a very straightforward mare. She's gorgeous big mare, does everything very straightforward. She wouldn't blow you away at home, just does whatever you ask her to do. She jumps, she travels. I suppose the one concern would be if it was proper good ground. She was very impressive in Punchestown on soft ground, and then again in Limerick at Christmas, she was very, very good. Yeah, look, I think she's very good, and I think with the way the race is going to pan out with the likes of the Yellow Clay and Final Demand unlikely to run here. Will Wingman go here?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, Wingman is a very good horse as well. I think he could have will be a big danger, but no, she's this track will suit her, but I'd love her to have just a easy, more on the soft side than the good side.
Okay, that is a cautionary word then with the weather. And you've touched upon there, we just saw, I actually hadn't seen that sales footage of her at the Tattersalls Cheltenham Festival sale, but she's obviously a beauty to look at, judging by that footage.
Oh, I was Sarah Henry's again this morning. She looks $1 million, and she's big, strong girl. You know, she's nice mare, lovely.
Okay, and this is definitely her target. She definitely goes to the Albert
Yeah,
Bartlett.
this is definitely where she'll go. I can't, unless something drastic changes in the next 2 weeks, but this is what we've been planning for since Christmas.
Okay, she's a tasty enough price as well. And Jamie, you obviously agree with that, I presume?
Yeah, look at she's a half sister to Stay Away Faye that won the Albert Bartlett before. So Marty Flynn has had good success with that pedigree. He had Stay Away Faye, and he also had this mare. So yeah, look at she looks a little bit of a standout. I like Ballyboe. I thought he was good in Clonmel in a muddling race. We think, you know, he will stay. The English horse that I like is Wendigo of Jamie Snowden's. I thought he ran very well in the Challow and behind the New Line, and I think he backed up that form with a win there last week, and I think that horse has a bit of a chance for the English in this race.
Okay, for the English, we like that. Gordon, how many will you run in here? Wingman, Ballyboe?
Yeah, I'd probably just run 2 in it, I'd say. I'll run Wingman. I think he's a classy horse. I think the step up to 3 miles will really suit him. You know, he's actually learning to settle now. This is winning his maiden hurling Nav, and he probably gets better. His next 2 runs are probably better runs than this. But yeah, I think he's a good horse. He jumps, he stays, he's at the settling now. I think he's got a big chance. And Ballyboe, Jamie mentioned, he's not flashy, but he's just tough as old boots. And I think that track on Friday will suit him. And at 20-1, I think he won't go off 20-1 on the day, because just probably 3 of the top 5 going to come out with a betting, like, you know. But Ballyboe has a squeak as well.
And this is a race that, I mean, they have to be hard as nails, right, to win this. I mean, and we've had big prize surprises, not only win but place as well. I feel like the Albert Bartlett is a race that you can take a swing at something at a bigger price.
Well, the flashier horse doesn't always win it. Like, as Robert says, Henry's mare, she's not flashy at home, but by God, she knows how to win. You know, she's very tough on the track, and I think that's the type of horse you need to win the race.
Yeah. Katie, do you have a word for the Albert Bartlett?
I think Willie's horse has more to give. The horse won the champion bumper last year.
Jasmine DeVoe.
Yeah. I think if he gets his jumping together, I think he's a class horse, and I think he could let them all at it. I think the word is good and it's positive. So I think at that price, and if a couple more come out of it, he's only going to shorten up again. Yeah. So I definitely think Jasmine at 10-1 anyway. But Gordon has a very strong hand.
Yeah. A few names in the mix there, yeah?
At bigger prices, I'll be cheering on Yellow Car. I bought a very flashy Crystal Ocean filly here in February. Yearden, I think half sister to the Yellow Car.
There you go.
Cheering that on at bigger prices.
It's a personal interest. We like that as well. Right, we move on then to the Gold Cup, guys. I feel like we've rattled through to the Gold Cup already. And of course, Galopin Des Champs going for a 3rd win on the bounce in the race off the back of what he's been doing at Leopardstown the last twice. Looks as though he's going to be able, well, he's going to take on your King George winner in Banbridge. Monty Starr is in here for Team Henry de Bromhead. Corbett's Cross for Emmett Mullins off the back of the defeat at Ascot. I mean, it doesn't look the strongest Gold Cup, I think it's fair to say. But Katie, we will start with you when it comes to all things Galopin Des Champs. It might not have the strength of depth, this race, but the favourite is a horse of a generation, really.
Oh, yeah, he is. I think any true National Hunt Racing fan would love to see him win. Unless you're just another trainer in the race and you want to win it yourself. But I think he's an out and out champion, really, isn't he? I mean, he's what everyone loves to see in a horse. I mean, the way he gallops and jumps, how straightforward he is, how easy he is, a rubber bit on him, normal noseband, the way to come back again and to win another Gold Cup would really put him up there as one of the greats. And I think if you're just any fan of National Hunt Racing, that's the result that you want. And hopefully I think that's the result that we're going to get. Except I'd love to see him do it in the style that he can do it. I wouldn't like to see him, I think he'd win regardless, but I'd like to see him do it with the style that he's after doing it in the last couple of years. I wouldn't like to see him just win.
No, I get what you're saying. And his performances, Robbie, at Leopardstown the last twice. I mean, I was here for the Dublin Racing Festival, and it just, I mean, is it fair to say, I know we've just crabbed the form a fraction with the Grangeclare West angle and does factor file stay, but the way in which he jumps and then accelerates and gallops through the line, I mean, there's almost an argument for him getting better.
Yeah, there is, and I thought the last day in Leopardstown as well, that's why the form, I suppose, is a little bit questionable. I thought Paul gave him a very canny ride. I didn't think he wanted to go with the relentless gallop. He went to Christmas and left it turn into a bit of a sprint. But from the back of the last to the winning post at the DRF, what he did was just phenomenal, you know, and he does that every time in Leopardstown. He'll do that here as well. Yes, there's no doubt, I think this is the easiest of his 3 Gold Cups. But his performance last year when he beat Jerry Colomb was unbelievably good. And I think, bar an accident, he wins again. Now, you can make a case for every other horse in the race to finish second or third to him. There's no doubt about that. I think a lot of them will turn up. Factifile mightn't, but Monty Star will improve a lot from the Dublin Racing Festival. On nice ground, you definitely see him in the first 3. Corbett's Cross, I could see in the first 3. Grangeclare West, Grey Dawn, and Won't Run. You can make a case for every other horse in the race to finish in the first 3. It's wide open outside of him, but I think Galloping the Champ will win and win easy.
Come on, pin some colours to the mast then. Who chased him home in second? You've got to pick one.
I think Monty Star will be second, and Hewick Won't Run, the Wheel Rocker, no. Ryle Pagaille, no. Conflated, no.
I thought you were making a case for everything there.
I'm trying to pick one to be third. Gentleman's Game.
Okay.
A big price. See him finishing third on nice ground, yeah.
Running on at a big price. Gordon, I know obviously there's a few horses in here that we would have liked to have seen that we won't, and of course one of them is Jerry Colomb. I'm always interested, from your point of view, can you appreciate a horse like Galloping des Champs and want him to win and enjoy a Gold Cup, or will you just be like, pass you by a little bit?
I think before we get on to the horse, I think Robert Powers, he's a real firm man, so he is, because he's that many jobs, Robert. You know, you're keeping Henry the Bromhead happy, Brian Axon happy. I think he couldn't find anyone else that he could keep happier there in the Gold Cup. But
all those fingers and all those pies.
Listen, fair play to him. He's dead right. Galloping the Champs. Yeah, listen, I think he's a horse I just all want to sit back and appreciate. Look, I've no running a race, so I'm going to enjoy watching him. Yeah. I think he's 1-2 at the moment. I think he could even go off shorter. I just can't see what can beat him. Barring a disaster, I think he's head and shoulders above the rest of them. I think, as Katie said, he's a superstar, and we sit back and watch him.
I'll be enjoying the race. Jamie, anything else to add for the Gold Cup?
No, not exactly what everyone else is saying. Like when you're a National Hunt person, you want to see good horses. Best Mate was an incredible horse. He won 3 Gold Cups. Album Photo, I suppose he won 2 Gold Cups, but nobody ever grasped them like they do this horse. This horse shows up every day. Leopardstown, goes to Punchestown, gets beat, comes back and wins. He wears his heart on his sleeve, and I think if this horse wins in Cheltenham, I hope to God I'd love to be there.
Yeah.
To see it if he does, because I think he's going to get some round of applause there. You know, it's going to be incredible.
And on that note, as a wider topic, you know, it's what jump racing needs, a horse like him to take us from the back pages to the front pages. You know, 3 Gold Cups doing that, that will make wider national news. And I know people who are changing their days around at Cheltenham to go on the Friday to watch Galopin des Champs. Just feels like this season specifically, the public have really taken him into their hearts.
Yeah, but rightly so. As I said, up every day, and he wears his heart on his sleeve, and you know, he goes to John Durkin, gets beat, comes back to Leopardstown, wins again. Just an incredible horse with a big engine. He's not a big horse either. Do you know, when you look at him in the ring, he's a slight bit of a horse, but he's just got a big heart and a big engine, and you know, he'll go down as one of the greats if he wins on the Friday in Cheltenham.
Oh, it's going to be a day to be there.
But Grange Square West, yeah, he was came from the great Joey Logan, Dennis Murphy Academy as a point-a-pointer, and I think this horse is really coming to himself, presenting. We know he stays. I just have a sneaky feeling this horse could run a massive race.
To finish second?
I think so.
Okay. That's your second place spot then. Grange Clare West at a big price, given what he did in this race here at the Dublin Racing Festival.
From the back of the last, as you can see there,
yeah,
he stayed, and I think if he can get close enough, he won't be far behind Galopin des Champs.
Last time, Robbie?
Yeah, I just heard a rumour watching back that Gavin Cromwell's horse is going to be supplemented for the Gold Cup. What's he? I like the way you're thinking.
He won a Cheltenham last year.
Yeah,
he's a chance now.
He has a big chance in the Gold Cup. He'd be a big place chance in the Gold Cup if he's supplemented.
Okay, all right. If he's supplemented, then he'll be one to keep an eye out for. Right, we need to do some handicappers from day 3 and 4, and then just so my panel know what's coming, because I don't want the panic looks that Jamie keeps giving me. You are also then going to be asked for a nap and a dark horse. All right. Oh, Gordon's rolling his eyes. Right, Robbie, I'm going to start with you. Some handicappers from day 3 or 4, any of the races that we've missed, that we haven't spoken about, which of course I'm aware is a lot, but we don't want to keep everyone here all night. Throw some names into the mix for our viewers.
I think Paul Dara's or Paul Nolan's horse on Pion Darrig.
Yeah.
Wherever that goes, in whichever handicap he's intended to run in, I'm not sure, but wherever that goes has a big chance. The Mayor's Novice Hurdle, Henry could run a couple in this as well. Therese, who was very impressive in Navan, and Ervin Titleman, who's only had 1 run over hurdles, but was very impressive in Down Ryle, and that form has worked out very strongly. So the 2 of them, and on Friday, races we haven't looked at. I don't think we'll have a whole pile on Friday. Quite enough. Am I missing something?
Anything in the Martin Pipe? I'd love a Martin Pipe.
Oh, Martin Pipe, Tap on the Go. We'll run in the Martin Pipe, hopefully. I haven't seen what weight he got yet, but he'd be interesting if he runs in the Martin Pipe on nice ground.
Okay.
11-2.
Yeah.
Take that?
Yeah, I'll take that, yeah.
You're not the race planner for Henry.
I was that busy today, I didn't have a chance to look at them yet.
All those fingers and all those pies. He's flat out there. Gordon, give us some handicappers for day 3 and 4, if you have anything that sort of springs to mind.
To be honest, I have loads of entries, not quite sure what I'm going to run yet. Firefox might run in the Novice Handicap Chase. He'd have a big chance in that, and Wood, who will run in the Martin Pipe, I think she won't be far away.
Ah, that would be her target, the Martin Pipe.
Well, she has the Martin Pipe, she has the Coral, and she could be supplemented for the Mayor's Hurdle as well. We'll wait and see what's going to happen. But as I'm sitting here this evening, I'd like to go for the Martin Pipe. Yeah.
Yeah, and she's about a 6-1 shot for that currently. Before I come back to you for naps for the meeting and dark horses, etc., Katie, any handicappers you want to mention for the Friday or Thursday?
Not real handicappers, to be honest.
Okay.
I think Joseph's horse has a chance. Horse won the Galway Hurdle. Newburgh,
Nürburgring, is it?
Nürburgring,
yeah.
Yeah.
I like him.
Okay, and Jamie, handicappers?
No, I'm not. Firefox is. I love that horse. I just think He's probably well handicapped now, as Gordon said. You know, a graded horse coming back into a handicap. But Rocky's Howie is not a handicapper, but now Hunter's Chaser, I can't beat Hunter's Chaser, but Dec Queeley's had a fantastic year. That horse,
flying along.
Yeah, he's had a really good year. He won a point in Craigmore a couple of weeks ago, and he was 4th or 5th in the Fox Hunters a couple of years ago. He's a 9-year-old now, loads of experience, and I actually think this horse will run a massive race. He's about 12 or 14 to 1, and I really like him now for that.
Okay.
Sean Doyle's horse in the Fox Hunters.
Yeah, he has a chance. Just whether experience might catch him out. Angels Dawn, a Kim Muir winner, definitely, has a chance as well. I suppose, coming back into him. But I don't know. I think Dec Queeley's a Hunter Chase or pointer coming up through. You'd love to see him being good enough to win it.
Ross's horse has a chance in the Hunter Chase. Ryle, horse that won an ace the last day.
Now we're at.
Now you're talking.
We'd like that.
Yeah, I think he has a chance. I thought he was very good in ace the last day. He's a bit awkward to jump, but when he gets into a rhythm, the man in his back knows him really, really well, Lee, and claimed 7 off him, and had a spin around Cheltenham the last day. Can't claim Fox Hunter, sorry. Anyway, it doesn't matter, he's still going to ride him. And I think he's a chance.
It's okay.
You think he's got a chance? Okay. Right. Before, we are going to ask the audience for some questions, which I always find incredibly awkward because everyone goes really quiet. So please, somebody out there, get your questions ready. They won't bite, I promise. But before we do that, your nap of the meeting, best bet of the meeting, lads, the horse that can't be beat. Gordon, to you, Pooh?
I'd say I'd go double with Gallop and the Champ and Malsborough.
Okay, I was not expecting that. All right, okay. Robbie, your nap.
They're not his own, you see.
Yeah. Robbie, your nap of the meeting.
I'll do a Derby Sale double on day 1, Kopek de Borg and Brighter Days Ahead.
Got the doubles going in here. Wait, Brighter Days Ahead in which race though?
I said the first day.
Oh.
Well done, Bob.
Oh.
She run the first day, Gordon, won't she?
She definitely run Tuesday, yeah.
See what you did there. Very clever. Katie, your nap, please, of the whole festival.
The horse in the first.
Kopek the Boards.
Kopek the Boards.
God, everyone's such a fan of his. Jamie, your nap, please.
The standout Derby Sale horse until Gordon's mare came along, John Bon. But I really hope that Brighter Days Ahead wins. John Bleen, Solar, John and Niall, and they've been following her with great pride, and I think they'll get some kick out of it.
Okay, guys, you've all sung for your supper. Very well done. Audience out there, where is John, our masterful man with the microphone? Right, raise your hand if you have a question. Now, you see, this is what I'm talking about. Every time. Oh, yes, well done. Here we go. We're rocking and rolling. We just need a bit of microphone.
For you. When you've seen the handicaps today, Gordon, what was the one that stood out for you?
Woodhoe. Yeah. I haven't gone through them 100% complete, to be honest. I only got them at 4:30 this evening, and I thought they started at 6 o'clock, so I was rushing out of the house, to be honest.
We very much appreciate making the effort.
Thank you.
Wood, are you getting the mention again? Yeah.
She could be anything, Gordon.
Yeah, she's in the Mayor's Chase. I'd be shocked if I brought her over, to be honest. Maybe if it's a small field, I'd say I'd keep her at home, to be honest.
Okay. Any other questions out there? We also had some social media questions as well, which John will read out for us at some point. But any other raised hands? Everyone's looking nervous. Can't really see because of the light situation. John, read us out some social media questions. Putting John under a bit of pressure here. He likes that.
Someone joined in late there and they've asked Gordon, out of Calypso's Chance and Jalan de Dares, who do you fancy to go closest in the champion bumper?
We know the answer to this.
Calypso's Chance.
There you go. Pretty straightforward. Any other questions? Oh. No. Sad times. I hate audience participation as much as you guys do. Right. Is that about it? I think that's about it, guys. Thank you very much. Thank you very much to all of you guys out there for joining us. Oh, a little round of applause as well. There you go. Jamie, Katie, Gordon and Robbie, thank you for all your contributions tonight. Gordon, you specifically, we wish you the very best of luck in the next couple of weeks in the run-up to the festival. We'll be rooting for you. You already know that, though. But everybody, thanks so much for joining us online and in person as well. That was our Tattersalls Cheltenham Festival preview show.